Mm. Gosh, this is just, well, it's changing with every single sniff. It's one of those whiskies where you just don't want to pour it and then talk about it, because that would be crazy. This whiskey is just opening up more and more and more. Hi guys, I'm Rosemary Moon, and I've just finished power washing the polytunnel. And if you've got a polytunnel or a greenhouse and you do that, you know it's a pretty vile job. And it's brought on the necessity for a dram outside late afternoon in our home in Orkney, where we've been having some super dry stone walling done. So, what's this amazing whiskey? Well, and let me tell you, it's 48% ABV, so it's a big mouthful, and it's a blend of Speyside and Highland malts, all of which have been in first fill Oloroso barrels. So sherry matured, but on the, well, to say Oloroso is sweet is crazy. It's sweeter than Fino, deeper, but it's still a dry sherry. And this, well, terrific colour. And a sensationally big dram. I'm talking to you today about the Ardgowan Clydebuilt Coppersmith. So it references back to the terrific tradition of shipbuilding on the Clyde. And it's an extraordinary whiskey because Ardgowan, you see, how can I know this distillery? Do you know it's not even out of the ground yet? That was Puppy Patch. So what's happened is that Master Blender Max Macfarlane has put together some whiskies to get us excited about what he's going to be creating, hopefully, if this is anything to go by, what he's going to be creating at Ardgowan. So how did I get to know about this? Oh dear. It's so full of flavour, and it's got all those Christmas cake sort of dried fruits that you expect in sherry flavoured whiskies, but it's got a touch of peatiness in there as well. And it is, well, 48% is a big whiskey, but it's so warming. But because of all those nuances, it just keeps opening up and giving more and more and more on the nose, but also on the palate, which is really exciting. So how did I get to hear about this? Well, my friend Pat Retson, who I've talked to you about before, she was for many years the brand heritage manager at Highland Park here on Orkney. She knew Max Macfarlane because he was the master blender for Edrington, who of course own Highland Park. And they retired on the same day. And so obviously Pat was very interested because she knew Max had a project. And so when there was some whiskey to be tasted from this project, she was right in there and wanting to support her friend. And she was excited to tell me about it. Gosh, that's my third sip. Now, usually if you see my whiskey videos, you'll know 1 or 2 sips, that's it. But it's different every time. There's slightly more citrus notes in this now. It's just developing every time that I have another sniff or another taste. And I think when you have a whiskey like this, that's what you've got to keep doing, tasting it. So Pat told me about this, and I went online to buy some and was very disappointed to find that they had sold out. but luckily it was back in stock. So you want to go onto the Ardgowan website and look, you can read about their plans there, as well as I can tell you. But the wonderful thing about this is that it's under £50, I think. It's sort of around the £50 mark. And it's such quality. And yes, it's not a single malt, it's a blended malt. But Puppy Patch is full of beans. But it is just glorious. Now, Pat was very enthusiastic about it once you'd added a couple of drops of water. I'm not so sure. It certainly makes the nose easier and less complex. It's a complex whiskey. It's not challenging. It's so inviting and alluring. And to me, having added the water, it brings in a load of French, or I suppose we should say as it's sherry barrels, Spanish patisserie. It brings out the spice in it and the cinnamon for sure. I'm actually making this on Maundy Thursday, and I've just been baking hot cross buns, so maybe I haven't got cinnamon on my hands. Mixed spice, I think, from all that kneading, but yeah, it definitely brings out other flavours. But I think for me, it's the richness of it without the water that I really love. This is an after dinner, chew it over, what's been going on today. It's a glorious whiskey. I just can't recommend it highly enough to you. And at the moment, if you buy a bottle of the Ardgowan Clydebuilt Coppersmith, you get a free glass. So, I mean, as if you needed, honestly, any more than this. The bottle is the modern, stylish bottle that you've seen with Weems malts and also with Brookladdy from Isla. It's a nice shape. It's different. It's quite easy to hold, even with slightly arthritic hands. And I like it. I like being able to see the colour of the whiskey so clearly. And you know what? I could sit here now for the rest of the evening until it's too cold, sipping this, and I would be very, very happy. So, would I buy it again? What do you think? You've got a 50-50 chance. Yes, I would. And I shall also be looking out for everything else that comes from this exciting new project. See you next time.